Hello there. This video will show you how you can use question banks in AutoProctor. Question banks currently work only with Socratease quizzes. The use case is imagine you're conducting a test and you have a large set of questions and then you want to only have randomly assigned questions for different candidates. So let's say there are 1,000 questions that you have and you want 20 questions per candidate and the questions get chosen at random. It could also be maybe you're testing across multiple skills. So let's say you're testing someone's English skills as well as their math skills or math skills if you're American. And so you may want to combine some questions from the English database and some from the math database and then present that to the candidate. Question banks help you do that. So like I said, right now we only have that enabled for Socratease quizzes. So you can go into the Socratease quiz and you'll see three tabs. You'll see a tab that's a regular quiz where you have a set of questions and the candidate sees exactly those questions. And in this video we're talking about question banks and then we'll come to the question bank quiz. So you can always click this how to create button to understand more about how this works, but let's actually click into this straight away. Let's create the maths question bank. And so let's say what is 5 plus 7. So you have this. Maybe it's a simple question, you assign it 1 point. You can also assign negative points and so on. So maybe slightly more difficult question. What is 8 times 8? So you have 64 to 2. So you select this and you assign it 2 points. You can then add another question which is also quite simple. Let's say what is 8 minus 3? 5, 4. Again it's a simple question, so you assign it 1 point, right? So now we have 3 questions, 1 point, 2 points and 1 point, right? And so this is a question bank. Of course it's a demo, so only 3, but you will typically end up with lots more. And so you can save this. So we have created our first question bank. Now I can go back. Now let me create something around English. So I want a different question bank. So let's say this is English. Again, I can ask 2 questions. Let's say what is the opposite of happy? I have sad and I have cheerful. So straightforward. Again, I can say 1. I want to add a different question. What is a synonym of hardworking? I can write diligent and I can write confident. Slightly more difficult, so maybe I can give it 2 points, right? So again, there are 2 questions here, and so you have this has 1 point, this has 2 points. You can save this. We've created 2 question banks. Now the AutoProctor test that you create, that you will share with the candidate, you cannot share the question bank directly. You need to create a question bank quiz out of these. So I go into the question bank quiz. So this is a quiz that contains questions of different question banks and difficulty levels, right? So I click into this. Again, there's a how to create article, but I click into this. And now I choose my first question bank, right? And so the first question bank, let's say I choose the maths one. Remember the maths question bank had 2 questions of 1 point and 1 question of 2 points. So let's say 1 point. I will see that there are 2 questions, but maybe I only want to choose 1. So some candidates will get 1 question, the others will get the other question. I can also choose difficulty level. Let's say this is the number of points. So there was 1 question that we had with 2 points and I've chosen that, right? So this is the maths question bank. Now I can choose the English question bank and again with 1 point I have only 1 question. Maybe I don't want to choose the question with 2 points, so we can ignore that, right? So this has 1 plus 1 plus 1. There are 3 questions here. Together our question banks had a total of 3 questions. This had 2. So we've selected 2 out of 3 here and 1 out of 2 here. There are other options that you can look at. So now that this is done, I have created the question bank quiz. If I want to set up the AutoProctor test, I just say save and proceed. So the Socratease quiz has been created, and then I will now go on. Now, if I come here, I will see the AutoProctor settings that you should be familiar with. For this test, let's not enable timer. I'm just going to go straight to Proctor. So let's call this something, right? Aptitude test. And in Proctor settings, maybe I only have tab switch enabled. I've disabled everything else, and I save. So now the settings have been saved. This is the link that you will share with your candidates. You can always click into this to change so you can, let's say you want to change the number of questions or the difficulty level, you can do that here. We'll come back to these, right? So I've copied the link. Now imagine you're sharing this with a candidate. Say you send them an email, you send them a WhatsApp message, whatever form you're doing, you share this link with the candidates. They will then come in. So I'm logged into a different account. Assume this is the candidate account. And so the candidate goes in, and now they have to share screen because the test is proctored. So they will start seeing the questions. What is the opposite of happy? We did this. So let's say I choose this 8 minus 3. Let's say I get this right. 8 times 8. Let's say I get this wrong. So you can see there are only 3 questions. This has the 2 points. The previous question had 1 point. So I submit. So from the candidate's perspective, this test is done. You go back. Again, you can go home. You see the aptitude test we've created today. Only proctoring was enabled. 1 candidate started and finished it. I click in to see the results. So you will see here that the trust score is 100% because the candidate didn't switch tab. They were in the same tab. So the proctoring report gives you 100%. Again, you can click into this and you can see that there were no violations. 100%. There's no violation, so this is fine. And here you will see I chose cheerful, so this is wrong. This I got right, and this I got wrong, right? So again, this is from the English question bank, and we had 2 questions, and we chose only the question with 1 point, and that's what you see here. The maths question bank, there were 3 questions, and we chose one with 1 point and one with 2 points, and those are what you see. If I try this again, it's possible that, there's a 50% chance that I don't see this question. Maybe the first question that we had was what is 5 plus 7? Maybe I see that question as a candidate, right? So the more the number of questions you have in the database, in the question bank, let's go back to the Socratease quizzes to see this. The more the number of questions you have in the question bank, the more likely it is that different candidates see different questions, right? If you're going to have the same set of questions, you may as well just use a quiz directly, right? So in this and in this, the more the questions you add, the more random the sampling becomes for the aptitude test.